Welcome to this episode of Cooking with Kirby. Today we're going to be doing some barbecue. We're going to be smoking up some ribs on my brand new Char-griller Smokin Champ offset smoker. Now I got a lot of Texas inspiration. I just recently visited Austin, Texas and San Antonio, Texas, and I got to meet up with some really good YouTubers out there and learn about some good barbecue. But the most important part of the trip is I actually got to go to Franklin Barbecue. This recipe is a big inspiration, and you know what? I was actually able to try some Texas style barbecue for the first time. After trying Franklin Barbecue, I noticed that the rub is very simple when it comes to beef. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today. I'm gonna do a simple rub, and just give it a nice little binder, simple rub, and just give it a good cook. And hopefully we can achieve some of that Franklin magic. So let's get down into the recipe so I can show you how to make it. Alright, so for beef, after tasting the brisket over that Franklin Barbecue, Aaron Franklin seems to use very simple, and I've actually read up a couple things. Pretty much uses 2 parts coarse black pepper. So this right here, I have 4 tablespoons of coarse black pepper. Then kosher salt, coarse kosher salt. This is also 4 tablespoons. If you make extra, that's fine. You can use this for steaks, which is actually pretty good. Then also 2 tablespoons of granulated garlic. And then 2 tablespoons of onion powder. Now that we got everything in there, just want to go ahead and give everything a nice mix. That black pepper is going to add a nice bark to these beef ribs. But just by smelling this right now as I'm mixing this up, this is gonna go well on these beef ribs. Alright, so we got a nice cut of beef ribs here. I had my butcher cut the back end off here. That way I could get rid of some of those, that back portion here. Give it a nice clean cut. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start off by giving it a binder. Now I'm not gonna be removing this membrane. I'm gonna leave the membrane on there. So I'm gonna just give it a nice little rub of some Worcestershire sauce, W sauce. Now I'm gonna go ahead and give it a nice coating or seasoning. Hopefully you can see it better this way. Now some people don't put seasoning on the back end here. I'm gonna just do it anyways. Let's get you a good coating there. Now we're gonna focus all up on the top here. So get yourself a binder with some of that Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire W sauce. I've been saying it Worcestershire or Worcestershire for quite some time. It's kind of hard to break that habit. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and hit it with our rub. I'm going to go a little heavy. Make sure you want to get a good shaker bottle, because I can keep the granulates at a certain area as I shake. So I'm basically going half of the rib there. Now you could use whatever rub you want on here. I'm just trying to mimic of what I've seen, but I do see a lot of people use other rubs when it comes to beef and brisket. Doesn't have to be this simple rub that I just made up. I was just super surprised on how simple it was. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it one more coating. I want this to create a nice bark. You gotta shake up your bottle every now and then. Go ahead and just pat everything in. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and cover this so that way no flies get to it. And we're gonna start our charcoal. Alright, to show you guys my setup, I got my thermometer here. This is where I'm actually gonna be putting the beef ribs. I got a tray so that way I can capture any drippings. And then over here, I have the water tray. I have that next to the smoke box so that way I can get that moisture going inside the barrel. So as you can see, I kind of lined the smoker with some lining there to keep some of that smoke, moisture, and heat in. So let's get to our smoke box. Now I'm not using so much charcoal. This is only about to right here of charcoal. So I let this light up. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna spread it out nicely even. I'm gonna go ahead and even out your charcoal. Now this is just the first starter. We're gonna be putting in some wood chunks. You know, give it that nice smoke flavor. Now you don't want an aggressive flame, so what we're gonna be doing, this is hickory. We got two chunks of hickory, 2 chunks of cherry, and then 1 chunk of some mesquite. We're gonna let these catch flame, and then once those, you know, pretty much get where they're not so aggressive, we're gonna go ahead and close everything up and let everything come to temp. Now that we got the initial burn done, you know, we're gonna be having some good smoke going through to that chimney. So as you can see, that it's not so aggressive. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this up and see if I can just monitor and just manage a good temperature between 230 to 250 degrees. All right, so I barely have the smoke box cracked, just barely a hair open. So I'm able to keep it at 240-ish degrees. It's been bouncing around between 242 to about 245. So I'm gonna give it another 5 minutes. If it stays at that temperature, I'm gonna just go ahead and put the ribs in there. All right, so I'm able to stabilize the temperature at 244 degrees. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in our ribs. All right, so I'm gonna be putting my ribs right here because this is where I have my probe at. So this is gonna allow me to check the temperatures. Put it about right here. So now, all we gotta do is just close it up, let it do its thing. Okay, so we have our ribs in there. I'm gonna let those cook for about 2.5 to 3 hours initially. So I'm gonna actually check back on them in about 2 hours, and then I'm gonna spray them with just a little bit of beef broth and some Worcestershire sauce, you know, kind of mixed in there. So basically what I'm looking for is I'm looking to set the bark, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it, cook it for maybe about another hour, take it out of the wrap, and then just go ahead and finish them off. But you know, you'll know when they're ready to wrap, you know, once they hit a certain point. So I'm gonna check back on the ribs in about 2 hours, and every hour or so, 45 minutes, I'll probably start some charcoal with some wood chunks, so that way I could get the flame on those. And you know, that way I have charcoal ready to put back into the smoke box, because you're gonna have to replenish that fuel, you know, that you're using up. So it's something to keep in mind. You wanna have your charcoal or your wood chunks already lit, or what you can do is you can just open up the smoke box, throw some chunks in there, let it burn, get that nasty smoke out first, and then once it calms down, go ahead and close it back up. Now you are gonna have some, you know, weird, you know, fluctuation in the temperature, so just keep that in mind. But what I preferably like to do is have it lit before I put it into the smoke box. So we're gonna let those ribs do their thing, and I got some cleaning to do around this backyard, so check back with you. So we're in 1 hour on our cook time, and you're gonna start noticing on an offset smoker that you're gonna start losing some heat. Okay, so the first half of our hour, we were at about 245 to 240 degrees. And then the second half, we were about 235 to 230, which is perfectly fine. I think it stayed at about 233, the most of it for that second half. But that's perfect. We're in the range of 250 to 230 degrees. I have some wood chunks and some charcoal, you know, heating up right now. When you replenish your fuel, you want that fuel to be already going. You know, get it burning, get all that nasty smoke out there. That way when you put it into your smoke box, it's ready to go, it's good smoke, and it's consistent heat. So I'll check back right now as soon as I put the charcoal in there. All right, so we got our mixture of charcoal and wood chunks. The same 3 wood chunks: cherry, hickory, and mesquite. Just want to go ahead and spread everything around. Now, having it lit already, that's gonna give good smoke right there, and it's gonna have consistent heat. So we're gonna go ahead and just close this up, and then we're gonna monitor our temperature. All right, it's been our 2 hour mark. All right, they're looking good. Go ahead and hit it with a little bit of that beef broth and Worcestershire sauce, W sauce. Just add a little bit of moisture to it. Get you a good spray bottle because this one sucks. Alright, now that we got pretty good spray on there, we're gonna go ahead and let this close up. Before I opened up, it was still about 240 degrees. So as soon as we lose charcoal, I'm gonna add some more to it. Alright, let's check on it. It's been over 3 hours, a little over 3 hours. So this is what our ribs are looking at like. Get a little bit of pullback. Now we're gonna go ahead and wrap it. Alright, so we're gonna just go ahead and put this in the foil. I'm gonna spray it just a little bit. I'll go ahead and flip these. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and wrap these pretty much like this. A nice good seal. On one side, we're going to completely close. You want a loose wrap too. You don't want to put it too tight because you don't want the bone to, for whatever reason, puncture through. I'm going to just go ahead and put a little bit of that beef broth and Worcestershire sauce mixture. Let those go all the way down there. Just a little bit more. Alright, so I got the beef ribs facing down in that moisture, that beef broth and the Worcestershire sauce. That's going to allow it to, you know, tender up and break down. So I'm going to just close this up, let it do its thing. I'm going to check back on it in about an hour. So we have our ribs wrapped, and during this time, if you need to add some more fuel to your smoker, only add charcoal. There's no point in putting in wood. You're just going to waste that wood because none of that smoke is going to get into it because it's wrapped. So just keep that in mind. So now we hit our 4th hour. It's been a good hour in this wrap. If you want to do it 2 hours, depending on how tender you want it, that'll all depend on your preference. I'm gonna just go ahead and take a look at these ribs. I'm getting a little bit of pullback. You know, maybe the 2nd hour. Let me see how tender these things are. They're starting to get nice and tender. I mean, they're soft. I don't want them too mushy. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this go for another 30 minutes. I'm getting a little bit of pullback. I just think it needs a little bit more time. Our temp has been at a steady between 240 and 245. So let's go ahead and wrap this up again. And it smells fantastic, let me tell you. Alright, I'm gonna give this another 30 minutes and I'll check back with you guys. Alright, so it's been about 35 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and check on them, make sure that they're getting a nice pullback. Well, it is a little bit hotter this time. So we're about the same on the pullback. I don't want to overcook them. Oh, it smells really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go ahead and take these out. Ooh, hot. I'm gonna go ahead and save this right here. We're looking really good as far as these ribs go. Yeah, they're getting nice and tender. Yeah, they're looking really good. These are gonna be nice and tender. And so before I opened up, we're at like about 252 degrees, and If we start to lose a little bit of heat, I'll add a couple chunks of wood, probably some hickory and some cherry. So yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and close this up, let it do its thing. All right, so my last hour is here. I'm losing heat on my smoke box. I'm at like 215 right now. And just by looking at that smoke box, it's got a bunch of ash and everything, so can't keep it up. These ribs look fantastic. Let me see how they. Oh yeah, they're nice and tender. Look at that. They're just falling apart on me. All right, let me get some gloves on. Now, if you're wondering what this is for, I'm gonna wrap these and let them rest. And I'm gonna put a little bit of that juice right back into that wrap, so that way I can get some of those flavors that the beef fell out right back in there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and transfer this over. Oh yeah, they feel good. I'm gonna go ahead and make like a little bowl with this foil. Now let's just go ahead and just pour a little bit right here on top. Now this was the beef broth with some Worcestershire sauce. Also some of the fat that we rendered off of the ribs. Gonna give it a little bit of extra flavor. Go ahead and just wrap this up. I'm gonna let this rest for at least 20 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna leave this right here for about 20 minutes, let that rest, and then we'll get to cutting them. So I'll show you the taste test and everything. So see you then. The moment I have been waiting for all day, folks. I'm gonna be eating a late lunch today. I'm gonna pair this up with some sauteed veggies. Whew, looks good. Yeah, this right here looks beautiful. All right, let's cut into it. Just cuts like butter. Yep, cuts like butter. It is exactly what I was going for. But I could tell it's very, very juicy. Look at that. Just perfect. That's just real juicy. Look at that. All of these are like that. Got a beautiful smoke ring. You know, that 5.5 hour cook. Really did good. Pull apart. Not too much, but just perfect. You know, it's tender. It has a little bite to it. I'll wipe off my face. It's got real good beef flavor. You know, I would say it's more close to how I season a steak. You know, you get the beef flavor, but you got that outside exterior with the salt and peppery and garlicky. That's how this tastes. Really, really good. And it's very, very juicy and tender. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. This right here was a fantastic cook. And you know, if you're interested in this smoker, I'm gonna be going over some more information about it later on in fewer videos. I learned a little bit about it more today. I have used it a couple of times, but not of a long cook as I did today. I want to say it was about 5.5, going close to 6 hours. So I actually learned a little bit of information about it. So far it does good, but yeah, I'll give some more information about that in future videos to come. And I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers and all my viewers. Thank you so much. This is a great recipe. I hope you try it. And that's all I got for today. Thank you for watching. Now y'all be beautiful and take care.